Every other second, our phone is binging and buzzing, calling for us to pay attention to these notifications, which in turn actually cause us more distraction. Research says that the average person has 120 interactions with their phone on a regular basis. When you stop and think about it, how many times would you estimate that you spend picking up your phone? Whether to scroll through social media, whether to check email, whether to check text messages or respond to a phone call, it's tempting to have our phone in our hand at all times because it's like a mini computer that we can have access to all the things we need. But at the same time, this benefit can also be to our detriment. And so today I want to talk about how you can be more intentional with your phone to reduce the level of distraction that you have when you're going after your goals. Hi, I'm Dr. Nicolia, and as a productivity hacker, I have learned to identify things in my life that work to my benefit and those things that don't. Every time you pay attention to a notification and it distracts you from what you're doing, you're reducing your productivity by 25 all the way up to 100%. The worst thing is our phone, when it's calling for our attention, 9 times out of 10, the things that we're doing on it aren't even worthwhile. That Facebook post that you want to write out can wait. That person that you need to respond to often can also wait. But we feel this need to respond right away, which in turn affects our efficacy with the other things that we're trying to work at accomplishing. You may not even recognize how distracted you are by your phone or how much you even grab it throughout your day because it's become such a habit and a ritual. And so the first step that I have incorporated to make my phone work in my benefit and to make sure that it's not a distraction is I've taken advantage of the Notes app. Now, my iPhone has a Notes app, which you can use for a lot of different ways and strategies and things that you want to do. But for me personally, I have used my Notes app for my to-do list. Sometimes I get crazy big ideas when I'm like laying in bed or when I'm out working out and running through the neighborhood. And so I've used my Notes app to jot down ideas. I've used my Notes app to jot down my to-do list. And the neat thing is now my Notes app in my phone serves as a frame of reference for me. And so instead of kind of just going through my day and letting my day just happen, I'm more intentional about going to my Notes app when I wake up, checking the things that I need to accomplish. And if there's any ideas that came to me the night before or when I was working out during the morning, I'm able to use that as sort of a blueprint to follow when I sit down to write or to create anything for my business. The second strategy that I've incorporated is I've put a time limit on the amount of time I'm allowed on certain apps. So there's certain apps like the Bible app or the phone app that I kind of keep open and there's no time limit on it, but I put a time limit on all of my social media apps. And my time limit is only 30 minutes a day. For some people that may seem really, really, high. And for some people that may seem really low. But what I have found is 30 minutes is that sweet spot. That gives me enough time to get on social media and be intentional about my business without over engaging and getting stuck in the black hole of just scrolling and scrolling with no real purpose. And so my time limit shuts my apps down. Now, obviously I can override it, but when the time limit comes on, it forces me to be more cognizant about whether or not I actually need to access those apps. Because I have to take an additional step, it forces me to slow down and make a more informed decision, which in turn helps me to avoid being involved in a bunch of things that don't have anything to do with my long-term goals. Finally, the third strategy that I have made a priority when it comes to any electronics, but especially my phone, is the do not disturb button. It seems like no matter how many times you try to tell people like, hey, I'm getting ready to head into this writing session, or hey, I'm going to really dig into this, there's going to be people that really want to reach out to you. And even for me, I turned off my notification years ago so that it wasn't a distraction, but text messages and phone calls still come through. And so I have taken full advantage of the do not disturb feature. And I'm actually unapologetic about it. For a long time, I felt really bad because I'm like, well, I don't want people to feel like I'm ignoring them. But here's the reality. I have to make room for my goals. And I can't make room for my goals and show up for my goals 100% at my best level if I'm always giving my attention to everything and everybody else. The do not disturb feature has allowed me to hone in and focus on my goals and still let people know what my boundaries are in the meantime. And I love it. Overall, we hear that phones can be terrible things. And the reality is, for most people, they can be a big distraction. But if you're more intentional about how you utilize your phone, it can actually work in your favor. So let me know what other strategies you've tried to increase your productivity and to make room for the goals and the things that are most important in your life. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, I will chat with you guys later.